Hi guys, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. If you guys are new here, my name is Breann and I make book videos. And today we're going to be talking about my 2023 reading goals. I thought it'd be fun to kind of walk through some of the goals that I want to complete this year in terms of reading and a few authors I need to get to, as well as my January TBR. And it was so wild to me when I was making these 2023 goals because I really got into reading at the end of 2021. It was like September, I think, of 2021 when I first discovered BookTube and Book Talk, and the first book I kind of ever read from that was It Ends With Us. So it's just so insane to see where I am now. I'm like making book videos. I have a whole library behind me. I'm obsessed, literally reading 24/7. Yeah, that's just so wild to me. Anyways, let's jump into it. So for my book reading goal, the total number of books that I want to read, I set that goal to 52 books on GoodReads, which I will put somewhere up here for you guys to see. Last year, I also set my GoodReads reading goal to 2022 and I didn't meet it. I had to lower it down to 35 books so that I could meet that goal, but regardless, 35 books I think is still a lot of books. It's still a great achievement, but I want to be able to read an average of one book a week this year, and so far I am very on track with that. I've read like the most books that I've read in this span of time so far. We're like halfway into January, so I think I've already read like 4 or 5 books, which for me is a big accomplishment. So yeah, 52 books this year. We'll see if we can complete it. I'm sure at the end of this year I'll do some type of wrap up or something and we can see if I met my goal or even surpassed it. Maybe we won't get too crazy. Okay, and then I set 3 just kind of general goals for my reading, I guess. The first one is to read 1 classic. This primarily stems from the fact that I see these stunning editions at Barnes & Noble all the time. Every time I go, I have to go look at them. I've never read a classic besides like whatever ones they make us read in school. I can't even, like, is Huckleberry Finn? That might be one. And then, I don't know, Great Expectations or something. And even then when we read those books, I typically didn't read them. I would just spark note them. So I'd like to actually read at least 1 classic. If you guys have any recommendations for good classics to start out with, please comment them down below because I'm currently at a loss for words. Honestly, I was just gonna go to Barnes & Noble and pick out like the prettiest classic that they had, but that might not be the best idea. So if you guys have any recommendations, comment them down below. My next kind of general reading goal is to read another science fiction. I read, actually let me grab it off the shelf right here. I read Ready Player One last year. This is actually my first book of 2022. I was obsessed, loved it, watched the movie, just obsessed with this. I love reading books that are set like super far in the future or set in our world, but kind of where the government is different or technology is super advanced, just different things like that. I love reading books like that. I have yet to find another book that's similar to this, so if you guys have any good sci-fi recommendations or books that are similar to this one, please recommend them. Again, I think Renegades might be kind of a similar vibe to this, so I have that one on my TBR. Yeah, I had someone on Instagram, I think, DM me or comment on one of my YouTube videos or something and recommend me a couple of sci-fi books, so I also added those to my TBR, but I'd really like some other ones that I have not heard of yet. And then my last general goal that I came up with was to read more of the books that I own and books on Kindle Unlimited or using Libby, library books, anything. Primarily because I have had a habit of just buying books just to buy them. I'll see like one person talk about it and then I run and I buy it, or there's really popular TikTok books, so I'll go out and I'll buy like 5, 6, 7 books at a time, and then I don't get to them, and then they're sitting on my shelf for so long, and it's like, I just keep looking at it like, oh God, am I ever gonna read that book? Like I have a couple on my shelf, like, can you guys see this? We Were Liars. This was like one of the first books I ever bought after I got into Book Talk, BookTube, that world. And honestly, I have had no interest in picking it up. I've heard nothing but terrible things. And so now it's just sitting on the shelf. I've got a few others on there. That one's probably like at the very bottom of my list, but I just don't like the idea of having books on my shelves that I don't really want to read. And I spent money on them, so I would just like to maybe buy less books at a time, you know, go out, buy maybe 2 books at a time, read them, you know, that type of deal, Kindle Unlimited, all of that. that is a goal. I'm sure everyone has that goal. I always see people talk about how they want to buy less books and utilize their library and stuff. So we're gonna try, but I also love book shopping. So who knows, I could have a book haul going up in a couple of weeks and everything I just said would have been irrelevant. But that is the kind of 3 general goals that I came up with. And then I have some authors that I really want to try this year, which the first one that I'm going to talk about, I actually have already read one of her books. You guys are going to see it when I talk about my must-read books in 2023. So that first author is Taylor Jenkins Reid. I have 4 Taylor Jenkins Reid's books. Four Taylor Jenkins... Girl, what is her last name? I don't know. I have 4 of her books. And up until like a couple of weeks ago or a week ago, I had not read any of them and I've heard nothing but raving reviews about her. So she was/is on my must-read authors of the year. The second on that list is Riley Sager. Again, I've got, I think, just one Riley Sager book, but I really love thrillers. So I've heard that those books are really good and I really would like to read some Riley Sager this year. And then the last author on my must-read authors of the year is Mariana Zapata. I have heard nothing but amazing things about her books, and I have recently learned that I love slow burn. I love the anticipation between 2 characters, all the build-up, little glances at each other, just those little crumbs that authors give you when characters are kind of starting to fall in love or be drawn to one another. Specifically, like I think about in Bridgerton, I'm talking about the show on Netflix. The second season of that, all of that built up tension, like I was eating that up. So to be able to read that in a book, I think I'm really gonna love that. I've had my eye on The Wall of Winnipeg and Me from Luke Off with Love. Yeah, that one. All Roads Lead Here. I know there's kind of like a reading order, even though they're all like standalones for the most part, but those are just a few that have been on my radar. So yeah, those are my 3 must-read authors this year. And I might actually add Leigh Bardugo to that book because I've got Ninth House by her, and then I also have the Shadow and Bone series, and then I also want to read Six of Crows. So we're gonna toss her in there. Leigh Bardugo, since I already read a Taylor Jenkins Reid and I can check that off, I'm gonna add Leigh Bardugo to that list. Okay, now the part that I'm most excited about, my must-read books of 2023. I have 10 books on this list. I was gonna do 23 books, but that just seemed kind of crazy to me. I don't know why. So we're gonna do my 10 must-reads of 2023. The first on that list is obviously gonna be A Court of Silver Flames. I know I put this in books that I need to read for the end of 2022. I ended up being so insanely busy in December that I just never got to it, but I will, like, 2023 will not end until I've read this book. I will. It is happening. Probably pretty soon actually, but this is the final book in the A Court of Thorns and Roses series. I love this series. I don't think I really have to say much more about it. Must read. If I read nothing else on this bookshelf, if I read no other book in this entire year, it will be this one. Then another super popular one I cannot believe I haven't read, Love and Other Words by Christina Lauren. Again, I think this was in my must read before the end of 2022. And here she is. Should I talk about what these are about? This is a friends to lovers. They both like reading. I don't really know. I'm gonna read it though before the end of the year. Then I really wanna read A Song of Achilles. I don't have the physical copy. It's actually on Kindle Unlimited right now, but for some reason, I love the cover and I have this feeling that I'm gonna love the book. So I really wanna own the physical copy, but I don't know. I haven't decided, so I don't have that one yet, but that's also on my must read of the year. My dog is trying to eat for like the 10th time and it's so loud. Okay, Chloe has joined us. So yeah, A Song of Achilles by Madeline Miller. I think that one's gonna be really good. All right, Chloe's gonna sit down here, so if you see her head pop in and out, sit down. There you go, stay right there. Okay, and then, as I mentioned, since I really wanted to read Taylor Jenkins Reid this year, Chloe, okay, you have to go with your father. Since Taylor Jenkins Reid, I cannot say her name. Taylor Jenkins Reid, since she was on my must-read authors list, I also put One True Loves on this list. Spoiler alert for my January reading wrap-up. I've already read this book. I will not talk about my thoughts on it. I will talk about that in that reading wrap-up video, but since I already read this one, I think we're just like doing this video on the fly, aren't we? I'm gonna grab down The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. We just need to read this one. And then I also have Daisy Jones and the Six by her because I know that they're coming out with, I think, is it Prime or Hulu? They're coming out with a show on some streaming platform and I really want to be able to watch it. I know everyone is going to be talking about it. I don't want to feel left out. I'd really like to honestly just read all her books. I have another one up there somewhere. I don't remember which one it is. But yeah, so we'll see. Like I said, I've already read this one so I can check that off, but I'm going to toss this one on the list. Well, then that wouldn't be 10, would it? I don't know. We're gonna read something. We'll read something from her, whatever. Moving on. Then I'm really in my fantasy era. I love fantasy. I think I might like it even more than romance, dare I say. There's just something about it that's like the romance and fantasy and then the adventure kind of that we follow along while experiencing that romance is just chef's kiss, top tier, so good. So I have Six of Crows by Leigh Bardugo. I do have the Shadow and Bones series on my shelf and I've been so just like, I don't know if I want to read it, but I really want to read it before I get to Six of Crows. So I might have to read those ones, but Six of Crows is a must read for me this year. I really want to read it and I want to be able to watch the Netflix show because I just love a good adaptation. I don't know if it's good, but I love an adaptation of books. Then we have a book I recently picked up, which is The Cruel Prince by Holly Black. I've heard okay things about this one, but I've heard that the other two books, or is it other three? I don't know. Is this just a trilogy? I think this might just be a trilogy. I've heard that the other two in the series are really, really phenomenal. So I don't know. I'm really like, usually when people say that, oh, the first book in the series is terrible, like just get past it, read the other ones. I always like the first book, so I don't know. I feel like I'll like this. We'll see my thoughts. I might do a reading vlog on it. That could be kind of fun. And then I'd like to read the rest of the Addicted series. So I've already read Addicted to You, Ricochet, and Addicted for Now. So I really love these books. It's just, I don't know, something about the characters. I just love like hanging out with them while I'm reading these books. So I would really, really love to finish the rest of the series this year. I honestly probably would have already started continuing the series, but Kiss the Sky, I want like the new covers that are more like these ones, not like the ones with the people on them. And I just have not been able to find those covers. I think they're coming out on Amazon soon, but I'm just gonna have to hold out and wait for them. And then once I can find those, then we will continue on with the series. And then the second to last must read of the year is going to be Throne of Glass by Sarah J. Maas. Once again, I probably would have already bought these books. They are coming out with new covers. I will put them up on the screen. They are stunning. Like actually I'm freaking obsessed. So I'm waiting for those new covers. I think those come out in March, I want to say. Let me Google, let me fact check for you guys. Okay, actually, so those books are releasing on February 14th of this year, which is so soon. I'm so excited. I've honestly heard great things about all of Sarah J. Maas's books, and since I love the ACOTAR series so much, I feel like I'm really gonna love that one. And then the final book that I'd really love to get to this year is Magnolia Parks by Jessa Hastings. I don't know what else to say about this. First of all, the covers of these books are gorgeous again. I'd really honestly just love to get through the whole series. Yeah, so I don't know a ton about these books. I've heard that they're similar to Gossip Girl, so I love Gossip Girl. And if these are anything like that, I'm gonna be obsessed. These are very like drama-filled, toxic. From what I've heard, it's not like a happy love story. So if you don't love drama and toxicity, maybe these won't be for you, but I don't know. I will give my final thoughts whenever I get to it. Maybe we'll do a reading vlog on this too. I feel like that could be fun. Maybe even on the whole series. I won't get too ahead of myself. This is the must read, and honestly, I thought by just having 10 must reads, I definitely see myself getting to all of these, especially because I've owned some of these for quite a bit of time, and I just feel like some of them are overdue. Oh my god, my back hurts so bad. I'm kind of wrapping up with a little January TBR. I have already read, let me see, 4 books so far, January 15th. So, I mean, I'm just so proud of that. I think that's amazing, but I'm not going to talk about those books because I don't want to spoil my January reading wrap up, but I will talk about a couple more books that I hope to get to for the rest of January. So the first one is going to be Love on the Brain by Ali Hazelwood. I loved The Love Hypothesis. That's like one of my favorite books of all time. It's also one of the first books that I read after discovering the whole book world online. This is about women in STEM, which all of Ali Hazelwood's books are. I think this is like a little enemies or like academic rivals to lovers type of situation. And yeah, I'm actually like one chapter in. I'm really excited to see how I like this one. I'm sure I'm gonna love it. And then the next one is kind of random, but this is Never Been Kissed by Timothy Janofsky. This is an MM romance set at a drive-in movie theater, which I think will be really fun. So we have one guy who works at the movie theater, I think, and then the other guy is like the social media intern for the drive-in movie theater. But yeah, I think I talked about this in another video, and I'm just searching for the feeling that Red, White, and Royal Blue gave me. I have never heard anyone talk about this. I think someone commented on one of my videos and told me that it was good, so I'm excited to give this one a go. And then the last book that I'm gonna try to get to in January, I keep wanting to say February, that I'm gonna get to in January is The Perfect Marriage by Geneva Rose. This one's on Kindle Unlimited. I've really been enjoying reading on my Kindle, actually. I love physical books, but there's just something about the Kindle that is just so simple and easy. So I'm very excited about that one. Again, I love a good domestic thriller, so we'll see how that one goes. And then hopefully, like I said, I'm gonna do a January wrap up / February TBR. So hopefully I'll get to these other three and you can hear my thoughts on those. But that's gonna be it for today's video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Please do not forget to comment, like, subscribe, and all that stuff if you guys love book videos, and I will talk to you guys in the next one.